welcome back. Today I'm here with another video about chronic illnesses, and specifically I'm here to talk about a condition called POTS. Its full name is Postural Orthostatic Tachycardia Syndrome, but since that's quite the mouthful, let's stick with POTS. There are many different situations in which someone might have POTS. I have not done a ton of research outside of my own situation, but if my understanding is correct, it can be something that is short-term, it can be something that is long-term, it can be a primary diagnosis, or it can be a secondary condition as a result of a different diagnosis. Welcome to the complicated world of chronic illnesses. In my case, it's a secondary condition that I have because I also have Ehlers-danlos syndrome. Now, you're probably wondering what POTS even is, what it does, what does that even mean if you have POTS? So in very simple terms, it means that your body and your nervous system, which controls things like your blood pressure and your heart, they don't really understand what they're supposed to do when you change positions, like going from laying down to sitting up or standing. Normally, when someone stands up, their nervous system sends out signals that tells their body how to basically handle gravity. When you're laying down flat, it's pretty easy to get blood to pump from head to foot. Then when you're standing, things have to work a little bit harder to get the blood to flow up to your brain. And our bodies are generally equipped to handle this pretty well. We don't have to actively do anything consciously to tell our blood pressure to go up or down, to increase or decrease our heart rate, to get our blood vessels to constrict or relax. It's all just built in. So when you stand, those signals go out, your blood vessels constrict to get a little bit more pressure, your heart rate speeds up just a little bit, and that helps the blood keep flowing. With POTS, things don't go quite according to that plan. When I stand up, and especially if I stand up too quickly, or if I've been standing for too long, or even sitting upright too long, my body should send out those signals so that my blood vessels constrict. But my blood vessels have a hard time constricting, and from what I've read, part of that is due to Ehlers-danlos syndrome, which is a genetic defect in my collagen and makes everything kind of too stretchy and bendy. My skin is stretchy, my joints bend more than they should, and likewise, my veins and blood vessels are too stretchy. So when they should be constricting to increase my pulse pressure, they just kind of blur about, and then all my blood zooms down and it will pool either in my abdomen or in my feet. To compensate for this, my heart will start beating really, really fast. And it makes me get very lightheaded, nauseous, shaky. I feel like I'm going to faint. I've only fully fainted a couple times, though I have come extremely close to fainting a few more times. But many people will faint a lot. There are many people who have POTS who faint multiple times every day, who just spend most of their time in bed or have to use a wheelchair. They can only stand for a minute or two max. I am very fortunate that my degree of POTS is not that severe. Like I said, it's very rare for me to fully faint, and I can stand for quite a while before I start feeling that need to go lie down. The other thing with POTS that is kind of weird but also kind of nice in its own way is that if you lay down, everything kind of chills. So if I start feeling that faintness, I start feeling shaky and nauseous, I don't even need to check my blood pressure. I know what's happening. I can just lay down and I will feel dramatically better within minutes. Sometimes it takes as much as 20 minutes to really start feeling better for me personally, but it really helps. Besides just laying down, there are several other things that you can do on your own at home to improve POTS symptoms. Many of these tips are just generally good things to do as humans, such as making sure you have enough rest. A lack of sleep can definitely increase your POTS symptoms and make you much more likely to faint. Staying hydrated. People with POTS tend to dehydrate very easily, and that again can very much increase your symptoms. So it's important for people with POTS to drink lots and lots of water. This is one that I struggle with because I drink a lot of coffee, which actually can dehydrate you, and so then I should be drinking twice as much water probably as I do drink just to balance out the coffee. But I'm not as good at that, so I should take my own advice. While you're drinking the water, throw in some electrolytes. People with POTS tend to be low in electrolytes. I'm not sure if we just have a hard time absorbing them or what, but sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium, I think that's all of them. We tend to be low in those. I like to get these little tablets. They come from a company called Nuun, N-U-U-N. They come in a bunch of different flavors, and they don't have a bunch of chemicals and stuff in them. A lot of people who have POTS also tend to be very sensitive or have sensitive GI issues, so these are very nice for that, and they come in a lot of different delicious flavors. You just drop one in a glass of water and you get a little burst of electrolytes. Also, adding extra salt to my food, just trying to eat foods that have higher levels of potassium or sodium. I take magnesium. I find all of these things to be helpful. Then possibly the most helpful thing that I have found for POTS is compression. So you can actually, with your body, help your blood vessels constrict by engaging your muscles. So building up your muscle strength is very helpful for this. And then before standing up, just doing a little bit of movement. Move your feet up and down, shrug your shoulders, do as much of a crunch as one can. I'm not very good at those, but you know, just engaging all those muscles puts pressure on your blood vessels and helps them stay more constricted when you stand up. So that in itself can be helpful, but often for someone with POTS, that's not quite enough to keep their blood going to all the places it needs to go. Then enters compression gear. I use these on a daily basis. I have medical grade compression stockings and an abdominal binder. I find these to be the most helpful thing with managing POTS, and I plan on talking more about these in addition to my mobility aids and splints and such in an upcoming video about Spoonie accessories and fashion. So actually, on that note, I would love to hear if you have any general questions about that. Just leave them down in the comments and I will hopefully be able to answer them in that upcoming video. But on that note, I think that covers basically everything that I know about POTS. Hopefully you found this video at best helpful and at worst mildly interesting. Do you have POTS or know someone else who does? Maybe was this the first time you've ever heard of POTS? Let's just discuss all the POTSy things down in the comments. And thank you so much for watching. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and subscribe if you'd like to see more. I hope you all are having a fabulous week so far, and I will talk to you soon. Bye!